Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first episode at the Centurion Show. I'm very, very excited to get this started. We've been planning for this for quite a while, and I'm happy to say that I'm very excited. First guest of this episode, Atul Prabhu. Is that how you say your last name?
Yeah, Prabhu, yeah.
Prabhu, yeah. Would you like to give yourself a little introduction, who you are and
Of
what
course.
you do?
Well, I'm a first guest speaker here, so that's a pretty good honor to be here, first of all. Owner of Lush Apparell, part of the Centurion Mail Group, and yeah, so I'm just here now talking to you.
Right, and just to give you a little introduction to myself, I'm Justin Zhao. I will be the host of the Centurion Show. The Centurion Show is one of our branches for the Centurion Group, which I'm sure you know. We have a couple of different branches as well. Our partners at Wavelength, our other podcast with Ava David as well as Gianna, inspired us to kind of start our own little podcast. You talked about how you started Lush Apparel.
Yeah.
So we're gonna kind of today go over what really started, with originally it was Vera Flores, is that how you say it?
Yeah,
Vera
correct.
Flores, and then rebranded to Lush. And then at the end, we're going to also talk about your efforts at the Centurion Mill.
Yeah, of course.
So let's kind of get started with Vera Flores. So obviously, especially these days in high school, we see a lot of people start clothing brands and whatnot. So, I mean, I know a few off my head. I know Elias. Elias?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
has
yeah.
his, what's it called?
I think it was like 88 DRM.
88 DRM, yeah.
Yeah.
So, kind of walk me through, like, what motivated you? What kind of inspired you to really get started with a project like this?
Well, speaking of Elias's brand 88 DRM, that one came first of all, and I was looking at it and it was like, hey, this is like pretty cool. Like these clothes are kind of fire.
Right.
I was like, hey, I could kind of make this myself. But what I didn't see other clothing brands doing was tying themselves to like a bigger message or a bigger like better motivation to do it.
Right.
And I was like, well, there's like an environment problem and I can make clothes. Why not, like combine that together? And that's just how I got started. And like, as you can see from my first piece, it was like a hoodie, a black hoodie with a butterfly in the back.
Oh,
And
I remember that one.
Yeah. And I just wanted to send out a message for like the environment saying like, hey, we need to preserve all these things, We're not doing that. And I feel like with the clothing brand that, high schoolers can wear, anyone can wear, like it's such a good message, spreader.
Yeah, and I think it's really important when you come up with something like your own passion project, have like a background, like a meaning.
Exactly.
It's not just something like, oh, let me get rich quick and sell some clothing to these high schoolers.
Yeah, that's what I don't like. Like these brands out here, they don't care about a message. They don't care about sticking to a theme. They just care about the money.
Right.
And that's eventually like why all these brands like they eventually fail because they lose hindsight of what they actually like stood for.
Exactly. And obviously, back in August, before anyone was with the Centurion Mill, I actually kind of formulated some ideas. So I'm curious how you got started. Like, did you put jot all your ideas down on a Google Doc, or how did you kind of get started with this project?
I mean, yeah, in a sense, I just jotted it all down, like put some notes in my Google Docs, kind of brainstormed like what I wanted to be, what my brand wanted to like kind of represent. And I think that's the most important part of starting anything, just what you want to represent, what you want to symbolize, keep it constant through everything you do. And that's just the most important thing.
And how deep into it were you into your project when you told your parents that you were excited to do this?
Well, I really didn't tell my parents until like up to the last moment when I needed to buy all the clothes. But I really did dig deep to what I wanted this brand to like symbolize because I didn't want myself to be like another type of. I didn't want myself to be like 88 DRM. I didn't want it to be the same as any other clothing brand. And yeah, just to do that, you have to dig deep for that.
Right. And then so when you did tell your parents, what were their kind of thoughts? Were they supportive or did they have any doubts? Or
Oh yeah. They were supportive. Like my parents are like, they're immigrants first of all, and they really want me to like be an entrepreneur.
Right.
And I really agree with that. Like, why work for someone when I can do stuff myself? Like you.
That's yeah. I completely agree. And so again, they were very supportive with your
Yeah,
ideas.
yeah.
And kind of walk me through like, did you like present it to them? Because I'm kind of curious. Like, how did you give them this idea?
Well, I mean, they were pretty sold on the fact that I was starting my own thing. But I also told them like this is tied to such a good and moral deep meaning.
Right.
And they just connected it with it like right away. Yeah.
And kind of skipping aside from family, What did your friends think? I know you're very popular at school. You got a bunch of different friend
I
groups
don't
you
know
work
about that.
around.
I don't know about
No,
that.
I know you're very popular. So what did they think about this?
I mean, yeah, they were pretty supportive. Like at first, I started this brand with Justin Lee. You probably know him, right? Yeah, he's one of the basketball people. So I started it with him, and we were both really digging deep on the motivation and stuff, and we had a lot of support. Like, oh wait, what are you gonna? Oh, this clothing. Like that's what they were getting asked questions about. Like, oh, what's it gonna look like and
Right.
stuff. And we had so much anticipation for when we were gonna first drop. We just had so much support.
And then talking about Justin Lee, I actually wasn't like completely like I didn't completely know that he was a co-founder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So kind of talk to me like how was it starting a project with one of your close buddies?
I mean, yeah, it was like it was good. Like, I mean, it was like a whole different perspectives too, you know? Like, if I had just started this brand, I think I would have failed. I'm going to be completely honest, I think I would have failed. I didn't have, because if I started myself, I wouldn't have like a perspective of another person.
Right.
Like, I have different tastes. He has some like different tastes. But when we combine that, we get like a more like better taste.
Right.
In our
Teamwork,
company.
right?
Yeah,
And
teamwork,
friendship.
exactly.
When I originally come up with these ideas like Centurion Mail
Yeah.
and some of my producers back there, Tristan, Timothy, they know I've come up with stuff like a tutoring little thing, a poster company, and all this good stuff. Like I feel like I have these good ideas, but for me, I always need like a partner or a group to
Exactly.
kind of embark on this with
Exactly.
me, to give me like a motivation and kind of be like, oh, there's people who are actually like willing to work this out.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
me.
and like for me, like when I create designs and stuff, I always think it looks good. Like because it's my design, you know.
Exactly.
I don't think it's gonna look bad if I want to make the design. But once I like Justin, he would always tell me, "Oh, this design is trash, dude. Scrap it." Like I think I went through like 8, 9, 5, 10, 6, 7 different designs. Like it was just like I needed that perspective. I needed someone to tell me, "Oh, this is trash." And I think that's what really drove the company to start.
That's yeah, I agree. And when it comes to when did you start this again? What year
I
was it?
started like freshman year. I think it was 2 years ago. During the winter, I started it.
winter?
Yeah,
But when you transition from, middle school to high school,
yeah.
going to Walnut with, some new workloads, getting used to a new environment, how did you kind of like scrape out this time to work on something like this while you're managing like finals, while you're managing all this other stuff that you're doing?
To be honest, from the transition from middle school to high school was not that hard because
Yeah.
I felt like the workload. Yeah, there was workload, but there was so much motive. Like there was so many people around me that were like, I need to do something. I need to start something because college is coming up. You need to like be unique. And I found so much motivation from these people that I'm like, wait, I need to create a time just for myself. I need to create like at least an hour a day just to find what I want to do. And this is like the company. That's where it came in.
Right, and the funny thing is like, I always try to get as much people as I want onto my team and stuff.
Yeah.
And when people tell me, what really pisses me off is when people tell me I don't have time for it. I
Yeah.
feel like, dude, sure you get busy, right? Your school, extracurriculars, everyone's trying to do a lot of stuff. But when you tell me you don't have time to do something, even if it's like 10, 15 minutes, it just pisses me off.
Yeah, there's always time to like if you have time to like watch dinner and scroll through reels and like you always have time.
Exactly what I'm saying. And I think for us, like even though I think, the four of us in this room right now, we do scroll on TikTok, Instagram, we do go through a bunch of our stuff. But I think at times like we have this motivation to pursue our passions.
Yeah.
And we do spend a majority of our free time working on this stuff
Yeah.
instead of having an extra 2 to 3 hours on Instagram.
I think it's like a priority problem. Like like I don't think you scroll through reels before it's coming up stuff for the Centurion Mail, right?
Exactly.
Like people out there, they're like, I need to scroll through reels for 3 hours at least 1st, But like that's not a priority. You need to sort out your priorities, and that's how you get the free time.
Yeah. That's Tristan in the back.
So
Let's kind of go back to Vera Flores and talk about after all of your design processes, and this is I'm not gonna lie, I used to want to create my own clothing brand as well.
Yeah.
I think almost all these high schoolers had this idea, but anybody can do a design, anybody can do whatnot. But when it comes to the more technical stuff, designing a website, getting a manufacturing, can you talk to me like that, the more technical stuff and how you had to send emails, how you had to get through other people to do stuff like this?
Yeah, for sure. Well, design is first, right? Like you can't have anything without a product, a good product. So there has to be like a good product first.
Right.
Then like after that I also was like completely clueless. So like I just went like dug through YouTube, found Alibaba, my manufacturers, and to be honest, there was like a 2-3 week period where I was like, oh my god, I can't find a manufacturer, or these manufacturers are too expensive, they're too demanding, and like you just have to keep going. Like there's gonna be someone out there, I guarantee. Like if you're starting a clothing brand, you're gonna be struck by these prices, especially the tariffs right now from China. It's getting crazy. Yeah, but you're gonna get struck by some of these prices. I was lucky; my parents were like supportive enough to fund me. Like for the first drop, I think they donated me like $700. Like I was super lucky.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I guess I was just super lucky with that. But you just have to dig for like these manufacturers, man. And like after you get the manufacturer, it's not over. Like you have to advertise to people. You have to make a good website. You have to make your stuff presentable. And I think I also really needed a lot of help in that. That's where Justin Lee came in. And we advertised to the school. Like we made an Insta. We were pretty successful because
And touching upon that terrorist part, I think it's relatively recent, something like this year. Have you guys tried to make any adjustments to kind of overcome that or something like that?
I mean, yeah, right now I have so many designs I want to make, but it's kind of too expensive.
It is.
So we're kind of, to be honest, we're shifting towards products that are a lot cheaper. I'm like, I don't want to disclose anything out there yet.
Yeah,
but,
no leaks here.
But we're shifting to something that are like more affordable, something everyone wants to wear, but there's no one's gonna like sell them for some reason. So
yeah, so speaking of all of that, another thing I wanted to get into was creating websites. So what we did was, Tristan in the back right there, he actually helped us set up our website in the Centurion Mail. I think it was a very crucial process for us. I had to yell at him a couple of times for him to get things straight. So walk me through, did you do it? Did you have someone else do it? Or how did you guys work that out?
So at first for a Vera Flores website for Shopify, I mean, Shopify is pretty easy to use. I'm not gonna lie, it's like very user friendly. So we just did that ourselves, and yeah, we didn't really have problems with it at all actually. But one advice I do want to give is a website that's like, you need to make it super simple. Like just not for you to like use, but for people to read.
Yeah.
Like you don't want your website to have like prices. You don't want, I mean, you do want it to have prices and stuff, but you don't want it to have like complex like wording for each and every product.
Yeah.
Like I think that's good advice, because some of these stores, like they have too many like choices. Like if you have too many choices, like it's like Netflix, you know? Like they have too many choices on movies, TV shows. You don't know what to watch. You don't want that for your brand. You want people to actually focus on what they want to buy. So.
And originally, I'm kind of skipping forward a little bit, but to Lush, when I bought the new hoodie that you guys dropped, I thought it was relatively clean. And you guys had a mobile-friendly version as well. So I was able to go on my phone and kind of get all the purchase done. So I think that was very clever of you guys, and I commend you guys for that, that's for sure. But kind of, okay, yeah, this is pretty cool, because we want to go into the technical stuff.
Yeah.
We can talk about blah, 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 all the surface stuff, but kind of dig into your costs and all the like financial stuff for this.
Okay.
Without disclosing any personal information, of course. Just give us a little bit of a background on how things work with you guys.
Well, it starts from the manufacturer, right? Every manufacturer is going to be different. Shirts, I would say cotton, like that's what we want, because quality over quantity for our brand, we want good quality. Cotton, I would say for t-shirts, it'd be anywhere from like $7 to $10. And if you look at the prices for our t-shirts, not even more than that. It's like we're giving you like the cost of what it actually costs. We're not ripping you guys off, like these Supreme brands and stuff. And
$400 a shirt.
Bro, exactly. Like it's so weird. And then same for our hoodies. Like we make a really small margin on it, and I mean it works for us because like it's working.
Yeah. As for getting that. Okay, so the manufacturing is really cool. You got into contact.
Yeah.
You see your stuff getting worked out and stuff. Getting that first package. Tell me about what you're feeling.
When I got my first package, let me think. It was with all the hoodies and stuff. And I already did like the pre-order and everything. And it was like 3 weeks after that. So I'm like, if they screwed up my order, it's gonna be like a whole nother month before that another order comes in.
So you were a little nervous with that?
I was hella nervous, dude. I was like, dude, if this doesn't work out, I'm done. All my money's gone. And when I opened that package, I was so relieved. The printing was so nice on
Was
it.
it?
I was really lucky that I got a good manufacturer that
Mhm.
didn't like rip me off. And like, yeah, I was like, but at first I was, of course, like, I was super nervous.
Nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see why that would work. And then you mentioned how. So talk to me about how you did the. Did you have to learn like as to how like what the best strategy was to put your stuff out there? So you said pre-ordering.
Pre-ordering is a very good strategy, like especially if you're launching it first. Like
Mhm.
you want to know how much your audience is, like how many audience you have.
Mhm.
And yeah, like for your first launch, that's the only way you can do it. Like if I bought like 60 hoodies
Mhm.
first launch, that wouldn't I would have lost it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I like you it's not bad to pre-order. First of all, like a lot of these brands, they want to like have their stuff ready for customers to buy, but customers aren't gonna mind if the quality is good. If the product's good, they're not gonna they're not gonna care if it's like a 2-3 week wait.
Yeah, so I always thought about this strategy is like, kind of doing a lot of like heavy marketing,
Yeah.
social media before, really sell it to your customer base and
Yeah.
have them be like, okay, this is actually kind of sick, and then have that pre-order out, people are buying it, you have a good amount of estimate.
Yeah, there should be a slow launch your
Mhm.
first product, because like you want to build a story, you want to build like a connection with your customers without even selling them anything first.
Right.
Like with my brand, I was just putting stuff out, like I was just putting posts out there like coming soon, or
Mm.
like what this means, what that means, what this name means, you know, like there has to be a connection with your customers before they buy from your brand, especially
Right.
if you're a new brand with like under like 1,000 followers. You need to build the connection first.
Right, and talking about connections and working with all your friends,
Yeah.
a lot of your products go to students at Wana High School, right?
Correct, yeah.
And then I see, I think when I was looking through your guys' stuff, you guys done promotional shoots with a student at our school, Arvin.
Yeah,
He's
Arvin
done.
Chow.
He's filled you
The
guys.
goat,
some
the
ads.
goat.
Literally the
The
goat.
goat.
I've seen. He's helped us out as well. We
Yeah,
did
yeah,
Centurion
yeah.
mail post. Fantastic. I mean, it's really grateful.
He
we got
went
to work with
viral,
him.
dude. Did you see his TikTok? He went like got 1 million views on one
Really?
of his videos.
Sure,
God,
I
he
gotta
went
check that
viral.
out. But yeah, he's got really good stuff. Hopefully, we can do something soon with the podcast or even just other stuff. But talk about getting your friends to model you. I think that was pretty cool, huh?
I mean, yeah, like I said before, I had a lot of support like for my first job. I you know, I have good friends, so like
Right.
they weren't like, oh, and what is this guy doing? You know, no, they were
Mm.
like they were pretty supportive about what they were doing. And, you know, I just slid them a few discounts here and there. You know,
Really?
but like, yeah, it was pretty easy to like get them to model for me, and like
Right.
it really turned out well because I got to connect with a more broader
Mm.
audience, of course.
And then at times, early on as well with Vera Flores, I wasn't really into that at that time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then seeing, I think at that time was t-shirt designs, and we had a couple hoodies as well, right?
Yeah.
And seeing people wear that on campus, and even I, like when I see someone wear a Vera Flores hoodie at that time and walk by, I was like, oh, that's a Tools brand.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, huh? And then so even if I already think, that's pretty sick, someone's wearing your clothing, what did you think when you saw people walk by with your stuff?
Dude,
And even if
I-
it's just your friends, you know?
At first I thought people were buying my stuff to like, oh, it's a tool, you know. I'm gonna just buy it and never wear it again.
Right.
I really thought that. The next day, once I started selling my clothes, I just saw people wearing. First day I saw like 4 people wearing it. I'm like, oh my god, like this is a real, like
Yeah.
they really fuck with
Mhm.
it, like, you know, like it's going, and I was like super happy with that.
Exactly. And coming down now to Lush, me personally, I had to buy one.
Yeah.
Not again, not because we're close friends, but I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Especially when I got it, the heaviness, I really liked it. So then, I mean, yeah, I didn't just wear it once. I wore it a couple of times.
Yeah,
as well.
I saw
So
that. Yeah.
I think I gave it to my mom once. Yes, I got
That-
that. I gave it to my mom once. I took a really cool picture. So yeah, it's really it's some great stuff that you're doing with this. And one thing I saw a long time ago, I saw a video of seeing someone creating their own clothing brand, and saying that the person who created it has to wear it often at school. So, and I do see you wear your clothing a lot often. Has anyone ever like came up to you and been like, this is cool or whatnot?
Of course, yeah. I think that was like one of the main ways I promoted my first drop, or even this drop. Like the way you promote it and like the way you carry yourself in the clothing is gonna affect other people.
Right.
It doesn't matter if I wear it or not. If I'm like slouching, like if I'm hiding this,
Yeah.
like they're gonna be like, wait, why is he hiding his own like he
Yeah.
probably isn't confident about it. Why would I support that?
Mm.
But like if I'm standing tall, you know, like a Sigma, you know, like then like they're gonna support it, and like it worked, you know.
Yeah, and also this is something I was really curious about. Talk to me about your marketing strategy. So, I see that a lot of times you do a lot of social media presence, and I think recently with the Lush drop, you did like a really cool work where it was like you paired the hoodie with other parts of
Yeah.
like it was like you paired it with pants or something.
Yeah.
So talk about like how you came up with that and other strategies that you guys tried to implement.
Well, yeah, like I said before, like there has to be some type of story, there has to be some type of meaning, there has to be a way to connect with your audience. Like I know what my audience wears because I see them at school all the time, you know? Like I know what they want, I know what they're going to wear it with, and that's how I got it, like the idea for like the matching outfits and stuff. Like what can other people that what they have, what can they wear it with? And once they see that, they're like, "Oh shoot, this matches like everything I have in my closet. Why would I not get this?"
Yeah.
But, you know?
I see. And I really want to now transition to Lush. So originally Vera Flores, and now we've took a rebranding step, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
To what is now called Lush Apparel. So talk about me that leap of rebranding. What kind of motivated you to do that? What was what were the big changes, to be honest?
Well, first of all, do you know what Vera Flores means?
No, I don't know. What is
Exactly. That's why I rebranded.
Really?
There was so like that name itself. There was so many people asking me about it, and that's it. They did not really care about the brand. They was like, "Hey, what does Vera Flores mean?" I told them what they meant, and it was like, "Oh," and then they left. Like there was no like purpose to what that name really meant because it was like basically a different language.
Right.
Once I transitioned to Lush, people were like, "Oh, this guy's going for the environment. This guy wants to help the environment. This guy's supporting it." And it was less about the name and more about like what I was actually selling. And that really went well with my new job like this. Like it really went well because people were like, "Oh, that's the Vera Flores guy," to, "Oh, that's the Lush hoodie."
Right.
It wasn't about me anymore. It was about my actual products.
Yeah.
And I guess that transition like really helped the rebrand as well. And like the website changed. Basically everything changed actually, you know.
And we want to, talk about the technical stuff. And something that I've learned, which I'm not sure, and I'm sure you probably know as well, is when you have these ideas, with especially naming your brand and stuff, you want it to be easy to read. You want it to be easy to spell, easy to pronounce.
Yeah, simple.
So
as best, yeah.
especially with Vera Flores,
Yeah.
some people might not know how to, first of all, spell it. It's quite
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
unless you're some genius. But also with the idea of pronunciation, is
Yeah,
it
yeah.
Vera Flores, Vera Flores? Like there's a lot of different
There's
ways you can
complexity
pronounce
in
this.
that.
But kind of transitioning down to Lush, very simple. Everybody knows the word. It's easy to write, easy to rebrand, and all this stuff. So I think that's something that it's one of the probably, I don't know about you, but I think it's a big step that you guys took, and I think it's one of the better steps that you guys took with this branding. But as good as it is, you have to talk to me about the risks because rebranding is not a simple job. You when you drop clothing stuff, you kind of fall in love with your brand.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, I really miss it. But then you have to take this action. So talk about the risks of rebranding to.
I mean, I guess the risk was like I would lose the Vera Flores part, you know? My audience that was there for Vera Flores, they'd be like, "Oh, what's this new brand? This guy's crazy." And they would just leave.
Yeah.
Luckily, that didn't happen. That didn't really happen with me. I did lose some people to like, "Oh, I don't like this new thing. I'm like, I'm get out." But I had so much more support that came. Like, "Oh, I can finally pronounce the name."
Yeah.
You know, that was a really big thing for some reason. But yeah, just taking a risk and losing your audience is that's the like worst thing you can have as a clothing brand because there's no one else buying your thing besides the audience. And I found this out after I made the name, but there was also another company that went by the name Lush.
I saw that.
And they sell like bath bombs. You see them at like every mall. You see them. They sell like bath bomb beauty products and all that stuff. And I guess that was also another risk. Me getting confused with that company, and then me getting associated with that company. Oh wait, Lush Apparel. Wait, this guy sells bath bombs. No, I don't sell bath bombs. But like getting associated with that company, and I had to like I had to kind of differentiate myself. But it wasn't really a huge problem to begin though.
Right.
So
I know this might get a little bit repetitive, but you gotta tell me, was it worth it?
hell yeah, dude! It was so worth it. Like I think this was the best thing I've had for my brand since my first design. Like it was so much better. I could connect with so much people better. Speaking of connecting with people, like there was people from other schools that I had friends in, like they were like, oh, now I'm interested. Like they didn't know what Veriflores was at first. Like they didn't even know it was a clothing brand. Now they know it's a clothing brand because Lush Apparel is in the name.
And what aspects with this rebrand did you like? Did you regret, or kind of the stuff?
Well, I did regret like naming it the same thing after another company. That was like one of the biggest things. But I mean, it did benefit me either way. Like I had more support. I had better empathy and understanding with my audience, and yeah, it just really took off, kind of.
Yeah. So again, it might get a little repetitive as well, but kind of tell me like the trade-offs. Like you did get a new name, but what kind of came back as backed out a little bit.
Well, yeah, like I said, like I guess losing my audience was my biggest fear. Like personally, that was like my biggest fear ever when I was starting to rebrand, because I had to delete all my posts that was like Veriflores, because like an audience that was with Veriflores are now gonna like stop. Just that was like my main worry, and getting that name the same thing as the other company, that was another devastating blow too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like it was a pretty good trade-off. I had, like I said, I had more audience, I had more connection with them.
Right.
There was more meaning in the name. Like people knew the meaning once they heard the name. There's more information,
Right.
And yeah.
And so I don't want to put you on the spot here, but I want to give you the opportunity to kind of pitch your brand. Tell us what Lush is, what the motivation and how to find you.
Well, okay. Lush Apparel is my company, first of all. It's a company I'm very fond of. And it's basically a company, a clothing brand, I should say, that is emphasizing on the meaning of in the environment. What is the environment? The environment is something we have to protect. It's something that is in danger. It's something that we need to like care about. And that's what the brand is for. Raising awareness, raising awareness about what we can do, raising solutions about what we can do. And in the future, I hope that it inspires other people to start their own like businesses based off of caring for the environment. But we have to start with the first step, which is raising awareness through this clothing brand and raising awareness for how to care for it. And you can look for my clothes, first of all, at lushapparel.company.store. Go to my Insta, Lush Apparel, and yeah, I mean that's basically it, just support.
And tell us what your top product is right now.
Top product, I mean, it was hot like I would say like a couple of months ago, but I mean this jacket.
Show it off, man. Show it off to the camera.
Come on, like Lush
Yes, sir.
Apparel. Lush. There's some stuff on the back. You can check it out on my website, lushapparel.company.store. It's only $35 first of all.
I know.
You like these brands, they'll charge you like $50-$60 for their hoodies. No, I'm good on the price, man. Like you can buy it.
Steal. And I talked about this earlier, the material.
Yeah.
For only 35.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, if it was some, larger brand, do they charge you like a couple hundred on
Yeah,
that?
this is 100% common, by the way. Like I don't mess with the quality on my products. Like all my products are top quality, and you know, like I don't mess with that.
And I can vouch for it. I can definitely vouch for that. Yeah, but we've talked about how you got started, how it's going, but I think something else that we really want to emphasize is what's in the future. What are we looking for in the future?
Of course.
What plans do you want to do with your updates? What products you might drop? Give us a little bit of a
Well, I do want to say like this brand is just a first step. Like in the future, I do hope to open maybe a nonprofit that's tied to this brand, like something that can actually go out, help the environment, go to other countries, maybe go and help their ecosystem thrive, go and help the animals, go and help even the people are part of the ecosystem too. Like people don't know that, but help the people be sustainable, help the climate, just help the environment. Like this planet is dying and we don't care about it. That's really what like frustrates me. And I want to build stuff that people are going to care about and people are going to sustain for a very long time. And that's just one of the things that I want to do in the future. So
it's very impactful. We'll see you right back. This podcast is brought to you by The Centurion Mail, a dynamic student-driven publication dedicated to covering the most compelling news stories. Our mission is to impact and inspire thought-provoking ideas through our diverse coverages. We strive to prevent misinformation through promoting accurate and fact-check content, both in long form with our articles and short form with our daily social media posts. Check out our pages at The Centurion Mail on Instagram and TikTok, as well as our website at www.thecenturionmail.com. Now, back to the podcast. Speaking of the Centurion Mail, let's kind of dive into your efforts at the Centurion Mail. Why not? So to give some background to our audience, I started the Centurion Mail back in I was planning for it back in August of 24, and then we started production late January. And what we do is we do our daily social media posts of like news updates. So we cover news, sports, clubs, organizations, all that good stuff around the world. And we also do some articles. So, like we mentioned earlier, Tristan helped us set up a website. We post our weekly articles on there. And right now, we have quite a large team. I think over 30 plus students around the world. We got students from the US, from Canada, all over the UK, as well as even from Switzerland. So, it's pretty cool to see that we have a global work base. And yeah, kind of walk me through your position and kind of what you do daily.
Well, I was one of the earlier members, first of all, so I was pretty lucky to be in a leadership position early on. I'm the coverage lead for the Centurion Mail, so I look up all the stories that are trending. I look up at all the news coverage that are worth mentioning, and I let the copy staff just write on it. I give them ideas. I give them what to write on. I give them how to write it. And everything that you see on Instagram goes through me first.
Right,
I'm the
exactly.
one deciding that. Yeah, it's basically my lead, and yeah.
And when we talk about this, we have weekly meetings. As we had one yesterday, actually. We talk about how we all agree that coverage is like, which you're a part of, is the first part. It's like the foundation to what our daily productions are, right?
Yeah.
You're the one who gets everything started. At the end of the day, you guys get the ideas out, and then that's when our day-long process starts: the copy, the editing, and then the design, and we post at the end of the night.
Yeah.
So, with your role as a coverage GIC, searching up news headlines daily, coverage has always been a fantastic job since you're in. You guys always on date, every time, very consistent. So talk about the benefits that you see or feel from searching up news every day, getting the headlines out.
Yeah, I mean, like before I even joined this, like I wouldn't really read the news. Like you would see the main headlines if your parents like saw them, like told you, right?
Right.
When I started doing this, I was like, oh shoot, there's actually so many like stuff that I didn't even know about.
Yeah.
And like I probably still wouldn't have known about if I didn't like start looking at these stories. And I don't just look at the stories. I don't just look at the headlines. I actually read.
Right.
Like I actually like try to understand what's happening. And all these like news sources, like there's like a little bit of bias in them, right? You
Yeah,
can't really
of
avoid
course.
that. So I always like try as much as I can. I try to make the most unbiased headlines, not just from looking at like CNN or Fox News. Like
Yeah.
I look at both sides. I try. You
Yeah,
know,
I know.
there's always some type of like clash between them, and it sometimes turns out a little bit biased, but you can't avoid that sometimes. But I do really like try to make it as unbiased as possible.
Right. And you also have a co, right, Eleanor?
Yeah.
She's one of our close friends as well. And I think with you two that I really admire is that you guys have a very good communication system. So sometimes when you're out, maybe doing track or busy with family, you have her do the posts. So talk to me about your communication with her and how you guys kind of work with each other to get these posts out daily.
I mean, it's really easy because it's just the two of us, right? So like it's just her messaging me or I'm messaging her. And usually there's no clash in our schedules.
Right.
Like there's usually, if I'm busy, she's not busy. If she's busy, I'm not busy. So it goes pretty smoothly. And I guess like we both have the same view of like as unbiased as possible. That's like really the main thing we're looking for, as unbiased news as possible, so we can provide the best news for people.
Exactly. And we've had over half a year of production now since Centurion Mail. We've implemented a bunch of different strategies to kind of change up with coverage. So just to walk you guys through a couple of the steps we did. Originally it was 6, I believe.
Yeah.
6 coverage posts daily. So we would have them write 6 captions for 6 posts. Then we shortened that down to 4.
Yeah.
And we kept that for quite a while.
Yeah.
And then at that time we were doing like 2-3 carousels a week.
Yeah.
And then now we've switched down to 2, but all carousels.
Yeah.
And we talked about this yesterday. We want to transition maybe back to the 4 with not as many carousels. And to kind of give you guys an idea, carousels are posts with like multiple slides. So just to give it some uniqueness. So talk about like which part do you like the best? I'll probably the ones with the less, right?
Yeah, I mean, I did like the four. Like
Mm.
two carousels are like you have to find the stories that have so much information on them that you
Right.
can put them on multiple slides.
Mm.
A lot of these headlines are pretty new, so they're pretty easy to just do a one liner headline, some captions,
Yeah.
and like yeah, it's just like four good stories that are not carousels. I think that's the sweet spot.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
carousels here and there are fine, but four good headlines that are just story, just captions are like
Mhm.
that's the sweet spot. And I think it just goes a lot on the copy staff. To
Mhm.
be honest, like I'm not spending that much time as they are. You know, actually researching,
Yeah.
actually writing down multiple paragraphs per story.
Mhm.
And I think they would just like the two carousels, but you know, I like the four.
Yeah. And kind of walk me through the idea of oh shoot, what was I gonna say? Okay, I divert to something else. The idea of what's like the greater good of us doing this, putting all of our content out and posting daily so people can check the news and whatnot.
I mean, I don't know about you, but what I got from what like message I got from your thing, I don't know if
Mhm.
you agree with it, but a student-led organization for students, for not just students, but for like younger people in general.
Right.
Like you see people like younger people out there not reading the news.
Mhm.
And it's a really important thing of life. Like you have to know what's going on around you, not just like politics, entertainment about other people. Like you have to keep it up or else you're just going to fall behind in like 2020.
I agree. No.
Like and
Yeah.
with our organization, I think it's just so much more better. Like we're posting on social media all the time,
Mm.
and it's such a like interesting format that you can't help but like read about it.
Yeah.
You can't help but and we're providing unbiased news. So, like we're not
Exactly.
like brainwashing people or
Yeah.
anything. So I guess like that's really like the most impactful thing I could think about for this.
Mm. And what I was going to talk about earlier is like, talk about how you choose these coverages because you're the one who picks all the headlines, the different things that we talk about. So kind of tell me, when do you choose a sports coverage? When do you choose a politics coverage, and all those different ideas?
Yeah, there's like different categories, different type of variety that you try to get as like as much as I can. I try to get U.S. history and world history. Those are like the two like most important things I try to get. Here and there, I'll like sprinkle in a little bit of entertainment or sports,
Mm.
but we want to know like the stories that are gonna affect us the most and our audience.
Yeah.
Like to be like if there's like a story about a whale that died in like Norway or something, that doesn't really it's not gonna affect us that much.
Yeah.
But suddenly if there's like terrorists going on, if there's like plane crashes going on in the
Yeah.
US, that's more gonna affect us. And I think it's less about like what the headlines are and more about like how like if people read this, how are they gonna get affected by it? I think
Right.
that's more of what it is.
And when it comes to the idea of obviously we could just technically just post your headlines, right? And with the design with our design team.
Yeah.
But kind of tell me like from your perspective why it's important to have a caption team write these thorough captions to put in the description of each post.
I think that's the most important part. The caption,
Yeah.
like that's the story. Like oftentimes, like these headlines are very misleading. Like I try to make it not as misleading
Yeah.
as possible, but it can get there. Like I can only put so many words on a page, and I think with the copy staff, they do a really good job of like encapsulating the entire story.
Yep.
Like there's nothing left out. There's nothing like censored. It's really just the entire story, and you can make or do whatever you want with it. But they have that there just for you. You know?
Yeah. And to like not to be biased from us too, but would you recommend other people to join in, you know?
I mean, yeah, of course. Like, dude, even if I wasn't part of the company, I would recommend people to join it because, like, I mean, you're doing great stuff with this, and
Yeah.
you know, I could see that, and it seems like it's gonna go somewhere really huge later on. So you know, just get on
And
it.
during our meetings that I lead through these past few months, I always try to emphasize that it's not just it's a work as a group. You know, we all work as a team. If you don't put out the coverages, the other people can't do it.
Exactly.
If our copy team doesn't write the copy, we can't do the post. Exactly. So we kind of all rely on each other for this kind of organization to work, and that's what I'm really proud of. You know, I'm lucky to have all of you guys here, including Timothy and Tristan in the back. They're all a part of Centurion Mail as well. I'm very, very excited and proud that, we all get together, as close friends. We're not all from Walnut either. We have Chino Hills, we have Troy, we have all these other schools, and we're able to get together and do an organization like this. So this is, what I'm very proud of as well. And just to kind of like wrap things up, like, how do you think, I always try to emphasize our vision, kind of posting unbiased stuff, fact checking your content, providing good content for everyone. So how do you think how's our progress towards reaching that vision you see?
I mean, like, ever since like our Instagram's been doing good, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very steady incline. Our TikTok, once we started, that number just like it
Yeah,
was a straight
I
uphill.
know.
I remember it was that one. What was it? The Rust post.
Yes,
Was
it
about a
was.
Rust.
It was.
I think like out of nowhere, like our stuff before that got like what barely 500 views.
Mm-hmm.
The once that came out, we started getting thousands of views.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy, and I think, yeah, I mean it's just gonna go up from there. Like there's no reason why it would just start to decline,
Mm-hmm.
and we're providing one of like some of the best like news sources
Yeah,
out there right
exactly.
now. Like it's very unbiased, it's very
Mm-hmm.
reliable, very easy to read. So I don't see why it'll fail at all, actually.
And like I stressed earlier with the little ad you guys saw, we want to go very diverse with our coverages. So on our website, you see we do sports, entertainment, U.S. news, global news, and all this bunch of other stuff. So it gives our audience like something refreshing every single time. And then going back to that Rust post, that was I think entertainment, obviously with the
Yeah.
movie and stuff. And last time I checked, it was at 384,000 views. So sometimes when you just get that feeling like, okay, kind of like with the idea of Lush, where
Yeah.
like people are wearing it or not, I got the feeling of, okay, look, we actually did something.
Like
It's-
it works.
It works, right?
Yeah.
So having that feeling, it genuinely feels very good.
Yeah.
And just to basically tie this back to your company, obviously, you worked very hard for us.
Mhm.
We're very happy that you're a part of this, and um, it's a daily operation for you because you're the one who puts out the headlines every single day. So talk about like the time that you spend on this. How are you able to squeeze that time in? You have school, you have your own brand, but yet you still have time for us.
Yeah.
So kind of talk about
Well, to be honest, I mean, it's kind of easy for me because I'm just doing like the headlines, looking for the stories.
Mhm.
It takes about like, I would say like 30 minutes out of my time.
yeah.
I have free time. Like I don't spend that much time during my homework because I do them pretty fast. I do them in school sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty resourceful with my time, I would say.
Mm.
And then with my clothing brand on top of that, I have priorities. Like school's first always.
Yep.
And then my clothing, and then your brand.
Yeah.
Okay. But like, yeah. I mean, it only takes like 30 or so minutes for me, and I think it's a good thing to like have in my day. Like read the news like every day.
Exactly.
That's a good thing. I don't think of it as a chore. I think of it as a necessity.
Yeah.
You know.
And then have you talked to your parents about your efforts here? Because I think your mom follows your
Yeah,
Instagram
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So what did they think about you doing this stuff?
I mean, they loved it. Like they ever since I was like a jit, like
That's all good. It's all good.
like ever since I was a kid, ever since I was a young person, like they really wanted me to get like into what's happening in the world. They really wanted me to like know what's going on, and I think this is like a good step for me, you know.
Right. And yeah, I think that pretty much concludes our first episode of the podcast.
All right.
Hey, what you think, huh? First time?
I mean, it went pretty smoothly. You're a good
Pretty
host,
smoothly?
man. Like,
Yeah, hey, thanks, brother. Hey, very, very, very happy to have you as
Yeah.
our first guest. I also, besides Atul, I also want to thank our two producers in the back. We have, although you can't see them, we got Timothy Chen right here. And we also have Tristan Shea in the background, our two producers. And yeah, with that, this concludes our first episodes. And we're very, very excited to see you again at the next one. See you guys.